We were given the task of delving back into the archives, looking for old photographs, and of course, finding this wonderful cache of lost 16mm footage that my mom took on the set of Ben Hur and behind the scenes and at home, which I didn't know was there. My mom had forgotten about it. I put 20 minutes of it together and showed it to Jeff Baker at Warner Brothers Home Video, and he was blown away. And he said, look, we need to make a feature-length documentary about your experience on the set and behind the scenes in Rome during the making of Ben Hur, and how did that affect your father? And we engaged the services of documentary filmmaker Laurent Bozereau, who did a wonderful job for us. He was able to integrate all those photographs, behind the scenes footage, interviews with contemporaries who knew Dad, and put it all together in kind of a wonderful sort of look back at how, not only what was happening behind the scenes, which there's ample other examples of that, but how did it affect him as a man and as a family? How did it affect us? Obviously profoundly and for the good. The only hard part was deciding how to cut it down. We could have had 2 hours, 3 hours of footage there. Not just footage, but a finished film. So it was a question of having to make some hard choices about what to cut out. It was all good material, and there's a lot of very personal stuff. We didn't hold any punches. There's a lot of doubt on my dad's part. We found his journals, his typewritten journals. He typed them every day, one paragraph. He had a page per day journal. He'd bring it to the set. You'd see him typing away. And he did this from 1956 to well into the 90s. And it is a record of a working actor on the set, trying to get films made, getting them made, acting in them, struggling with them, dealing with the day-to-day challenges that faced him, and not knowing whether the outcome would be successful. It's easy for us to look back and say, oh yes, one of the most successful films ever, but they didn't know that at the time. All they knew is they better not fail. They had to succeed. My first memory of that film, and indeed maybe my first memory, was riding in the chariot in Ben Hur. What a magnificent experience for a 4-year-old boy. My dad would come home with a bag of sand for my sandbox from the Roman arena. And he would say, son, this isn't any sand, this is MGM sand. And then he would take me to the set, and I basically grew up on movie sets. That's how I learned to make films. I never went to film school. How marvelous for a young lad to be able to experience those things and be able, I had a Roman armor outfit that I marched around in with a real sword and a helmet. It was just a boy's dream come true.